Buongiorno a tutti. Today we're going to dive into a super useful Italian word, la parola proprio. Now, this little word is used all the time in Italian, but it can be very tricky because it has different meanings and uses depending on the context. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to use it like a native speaker. And if you want to master Italian with clear, practical explanations like this one, make sure to subscribe to my channel and enable notifications. You will get weekly lessons focusing on the real Italian you really need. Also, don't forget to let me know in the comments which use of proprio surprised you the most. I bet there is at least one that was confusing you. Ok, iniziamo. Let's begin. Let's look at the three main ways to use proprio in Italian, which correspond to three different meanings. So, meaning number one, significato numero uno, is when we use proprio as own. I mean own as in the sentence one's own house or one's own family. That's one of the usages of proprio in Italian. In this case, we use proprio to talk about possession, but in a general way, by generalizing instead of using specific possessive adjectives. So in this specific case, proprio is an adjective, is used as an adjective. Therefore, it will need to change to match the noun it goes with. That's why in this specific case, so when you use proprio as on, you will have four different endings. So let me show you them. So we will have four different forms of proprio depending on the noun you will use it with. If proprio refers to a masculine singular noun, you will use proprio. So that's the standard masculine singular form. If the noun that's referring to is feminine singular, you will use propria. If the noun is masculine plural, you will use propri. And if the noun is feminine plural, you will use proprie. So remember, in the first case, when we use proprio as an adjective, and in this case it means own, it changes to match the noun it goes with. And as any other Italian adjective ending in o, it will have four different forms: proprio, propria, propri, and proprie. So now let's see these in action with some real examples. Okay, let's suppose we want to say something like everyone must bring their own book. So in this case, we're using own. We need proprio as own, and own is referring to book. Come si dice book in italiano? Si dice libro. So we say libro for book. And libro is masculine singular. So which form of proprio will we use? The masculine singular form. So if you want to say everyone must bring their book in Italian, in italiano, that will be ognuno deve portare il proprio libro. Il proprio libro. Va bene? I want to notice something else too. As we do for possessive adjectives, even with proprio, we also need to use the article. So if we translated this literally to English, we would say everyone must bring their own book. Because that's what we do in Italian. We do use the article with possessive adjectives, and in this case, proprio is a substitute for a possessive adjective. Ok, un altro esempio. Everyone loves their own house. How would you say that? Remember to always begin with the noun. So house is casa, therefore it's feminine singular. So which form of proprio would you use? La propria. So tutti amano la propria casa. Everyone all people love their own house. Va bene? Perfetto. Un altro esempio? Just one more. Let's suppose we want to say students must do their own homework. How would you say that? Well, you need to start with the word for homework, which, interesting enough, in Italian is masculine plural. We say I compiti for homework. So, which form of proprio would you use? Gli studenti devono fare i propri compiti. I know it's hard for me to do this. I have to do this. I propri compiti. Va bene? Perfetto. Okay, so remember when proprio is used as on, so a substitute of possessive adjectives. In this case, it must change to match the gender number of the noun it refers to. Now, if you need a refresher on possessive adjectives in Italian, or if you have no idea what I'm talking about, no problem. I have my complete guide on possessive adjectives in another video. The link will be in the description for you to check it out. Ok, continuiamo. Let's continue. Let's move on to meaning number 2, significato numero 2 di proprio. We can use proprio for emphasis. In this case, proprio is used with the meaning of really, and this happens when really refers to an adjective or a verb. In this case, proprio is used as an adverb, not as an adjective. Therefore, it doesn't change. Let me show you what I mean. Let's suppose we want to say, it's really good. In this case, really is referring to good, and good is an adjective. So when we want to emphasize something, we're not just saying, okay, that's good. We're saying that's really good. We're really emphasizing something. In this case, we can translate really with proprio. So that's another case of using proprio in Italian. Proprio as really to emphasize something. So if we want to say it's really good, we say è proprio buono. È proprio buono. Now, in this case, proprio, as I was telling you, is an adverb, and that means that it does not change. So it doesn't matter what the next word is, it will always be proprio. Let me show you another case. If you want to say it's really difficult, how do we say that? È proprio difficile. Va bene? So in these two cases, proprio is emphasizing, strengthening the adjective, buono and difficile. So it does not change. We can also say really, referring to a verb, not an adjective. For example, we can say, I really must go. So that really is referring to the verb in this case. Nevertheless, we can still use proprio. So if we want to say, I really must go, how do we say that? Devo proprio andare. Devo proprio andare. Remember that if you want to easily review these words, so these different meanings of proprio, very easily, and all the examples too, you can download the PDF that I prepared for you for this lesson, and the link is in the description. Ok, significato numero 3, meaning number 3 of proprio. We can also use proprio as with the meaning of exactly. So when we want to say that something is exactly so. In this case, proprio means exactly or just, and usually goes with a pronoun or an adverb. Let me show you what I mean. Let's suppose you want to say, that's exactly him. That exactly in Italian will be translated with proprio, because you're saying that's exactly just that person. You want to be very precise. You can use proprio for that. So that's exactly him in Italian would be è proprio lui. È proprio lui. See? That's another way of using proprio for emphasis, but instead of meaning really, it means exactly. Va bene? Perfetto. Un altro esempio. Let's suppose you want to say exactly what I told you. How would you say that? Proprio quello che ti ho detto. Proprio quello che ti ho detto. Exactly what I told you. So that's another way of using proprio with the meaning of exactly or just. Let me show you another example. Let's suppose you want to say it happened exactly here. That in Italian would be è successo proprio qui. Proprio qui. So this is a way of using proprio for emphasis, but more specifically for like kind of an emphatic precision. You want to say that's exactly so. Va bene? Perfetto. So remember that proprio, like many other Italian words to be honest, is like a chameleon, un camaleonte. It can take different meanings depending on the context. But now you have the tools to decipher this very tricky word every single time. Just remember the 3 different meanings and usages of proprio. Now, want to practice this? Then leave me a comment below using the one use of proprio that surprised you the most. And also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more Italian lessons that make tricky words like this one simple and clear. And I will see you in the next video. Ci vediamo al prossimo video. Ciao!